Good morning. My name is Ben Holquist. I use he, him pronouns. I serve as one of your Board of Trustee members, and I'm happy to welcome you all on Zoom and in the sanctuary to the Homo Unitarian Universalist congregation. We are changing things up a little bit today, so the order of service is a little bit different than you've seen, and we're very excited to have some extra musicians here today. Unitarian Universalists are a community of people who hold many beliefs, many origins, identities, sexualities, and genders. We uphold and celebrate the inherent dignity of every person, which means you are welcome here just the way you are. And love is the power that holds us together as we gather in community to seek life's deeper meanings and to celebrate the diversity of all living things. We are all growing and with and all learning from one another. If you are here for the first time, we bid you a special welcome. After the service, I will be in the sanctuary right over there. That's the back corner with the flower picture. To answer any questions you may have about the Unitarian Universalism of our congregation, or if you have any questions about how to become involved in our community, there's going to be more of that in the announcement section. Just ask. I also encourage you to explore our website, tahomauu.com. At that website, you can sign up for our weekly e-news that includes information about the important and fun events that are going on in the congregation right now. Of those, we currently have no volunteers for RE between now and June 29th. So we would really like it if people could sign up for today and next Sunday and the Sunday after that. What? Oh, we have people today? Oh, okay. We have Scott and Cindy today. So we're not completely without people, but I don't think we have anybody for next Sunday or the Sunday after yet. So we can still sign up for that. There is a board out front if you want to sign up there, and we can go work with that. Chrissy asked me to make an announcement and has completely escaped my brain. Chrissy, would you like to come up and make your announcement?
Good morning, y'all. So the worship committee is in desperate need of volunteers. We've had a lot of folks who have transitioned into other roles, and so we're needing people to step forward. We need worship associates and celebrants and chat chaplains. And there are some job descriptions in the e-news this week about what those roles entail, or see me during coffee hour, and I will be happy to talk to you about them. Some of those are behind the scenes, so you don't have to stand up here in front of everybody. And some of those you get to stand up here in front of everybody. So depending on what your personality style is, we have got a role for you.
All right, and the celebrant role is really relaxed. It's a very easy audience, I promise. All right, and then we have congregational meeting is next Sunday after church. We will be voting on a budget and Board of Trustees members and nominating committee. So we would really like you all to be there if you are a member. We do need a quorum or else it gets very complicated. So please do come by if you can or join us. Join us, others from TUC, at the No Kings Rally in Olympia next Saturday, June 14th. The rally is one of many being held around the country in opposition to excesses and corruption. If you would like to participate, meet at TUC at 9:30 a.m. next Saturday, and we will carpool to Olympia. The event is scheduled to run until 2 o'clock, so we should be back at TUC by 3 or 3:30. Do you need a sign to carry? Sign-making supplies are available downstairs after the service today. And that is it for announcements for today. You are also invited to join us for social hour immediately following the service right over there by the window. For those of you who are newer to our community, we have a red coffee mug for you to use if you'd like to identify yourselves and be approached by people who would enjoy getting to know you. If you pick a white mug, we'll just talk to you a normal amount. If you are someone who would benefit from a large print hymnal or a hearing assistance device, they are available at the back of the sanctuary. As we begin our services in this beautiful place called the Homa by local indigenous tribes and nations, I acknowledge that we meet today on the land of the Coast Salish people, including the Puyallup tribal nations, land from which they were forcibly displaced. I honor the resiliency of indigenous people and stand with them as they continue to fight for their culture, land, water, visibility, sovereignty, and their very existence. Lastly, please set your electronic devices to worship mode. Let us exhale deeply and settle ourselves into this holy moment of sharing and receiving. Now let us join together in worship.
Well, to start, I'd like to tell you that I'm excited that there are 4 people here with us today that at least 3 of them I sort of brought here, and a special attachment to one person is also here. Lori Olson and her company, Steve Taylor, are here with us today, and Beverly Chalktail Devlin, my friend, and so are the others as well, and Eli Berniker, my husband, and they're going to be speaking later in the service. So our opening words this morning were written by Matthew Fox, whose many books apply to all religious denominations. His words: what are the implications of our seeing ourselves as verbs, as mystics and prophets in action, and in a process of development wherein holiness is not a kind of passive state or a sacred vessel, but a decision, a choice, a movement, a living symbol, a process of coming alive.
All right, and now I'd like to invite Marianne Lyman up to light our chalice for us today. We hear Marianne every week, or almost every week. If you will join me in our words in just a moment. We light this chalice in deep respect for the mystery and holiness of life, in honor and gratitude for those who have gone before, with love and compassion for those who dwell among us, and with hope and faith for the generations to come. And then our opening hymn will be performed on stage.
This is a song I wrote called Always Be Kind, and I hope you join me in the chorus. It's pretty easy to pick up. I don't know where I came from, I don't know where I'm going. Might sound frightening to some, but I'm just fine not knowing. While I'm living on this earth, one simple truth seems got power each day and hour to add to the joy or to the pain. Radiate delight for those in my life. Know the healing strength of a compassionate mind, and always, always be kind. Always, always be kind. I have a penchant for the past, the promise of tomorrow. Love's the only thing that lasts. Time is ours to borrow. These lessons in life I hope to know somehow. Learn to want less, always do my best. Live in the here and now. Radiate delight for those in my life. Know the healing strength of a compassionate mind. And always, always be kind. Always, always be kind. Radiate delight for those in my life. Know the healing strength of a compassionate mind. And always, always be kind. Always, always be kind. Always, always be kind. Thank you.
I'd like to invite the young and young at heart up front for our time for all ages.
There we go. How's that? Great. So the book I'm going to be reading today, for you especially, and for everyone out there, is I Am One, a book of action. And the author is Susan Verde, and the art is by Peter Reynolds. And this has a nice section in the book that tells you what you can do, and it encourages learning meditation. Yeah. So I really highly recommend this series. So before we go back, let's stand up and come back and let's watch the adults form our arch. Thank you.
As you go, may your heart be at peace as you go, to nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
I'm Charlie Kaparik. I use he, him, and fluid pronouns. I'm serving as your chat chaplain for today's service. We've come to an important part of our service. One of the guiding principles of our Unitarian congregation is generosity. Generosity of spirit toward all. A willingness to pitch in physically to help others or the congregation. A desire to share our talent with others and the congregation to help spread UU values here and beyond these walls. And of course, we are generous with our monetary gifts as much as possible to help maintain our building, support our staff with a living wage, and to help promote the message we come here to receive and share. If you haven't pledged for the upcoming year, please do so today. There are baskets our ushers will pass around in the sanctuary, and there are baskets at the front of the church to support our trans relocation and safe parking programs. Those joining online can use the donate prompt to support any or all of these programs as well. Let's keep Tacoma UU strong and vital and help our community grow and prosper in love and use pluralism to understand others as we would like to be understood in these challenging times. Thank you.
And if you'll join with me in our words of dedication, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings to the work of this congregation, weaving a tapestry of love we call community, both within and beyond these walls. And I'd invite our musicians up for the meditation hymn.
This is a song by Cozy Sheridan, The Land of 10,000 Mothers. In the land of 10,000 mothers, every song is a lullaby. Nobody marches to war. No one stands in the airport and cries. Nobody dies on the highway with too many words left unsaid. In the land of 10,000 mothers, we all sleep safe in our beds. In the land of 10,000 mothers, milk and honey flow without end. Nobody goes away wanting. You are welcome wherever you've been. You are welcome to lay your head down and get a kiss for every wound. In the land of 10,000 mothers, you will get better soon. You are welcome no matter what chases you, whatever road you chose through the wood. In the land of 10,000 mothers, somebody loves you and knows you are good. Somebody loves you and knows you are good.
The author, Dennis A. Jacobson, wrote a book entitled Doing Justice, Congregations and Community Organizing. It is about opening new vistas for community action in support of the poor, the disadvantaged, and the disenfranchised of our society. Jacobson's words, "We need community to challenge us, to encourage us, to fire our passions, to remind us of our calling. We need community because we are battling principalities and powers and wickedness in high places. In community, we discover gifts, abilities, and powers we did not realize that we had. In community, we are emboldened and empowered to take stands and engage in struggles that we would not have conceived of doing on our own. To be part of such a community is an honor, but also a blessing."
I think he's supposed to do it. Can we eliminate child hunger in Pierce County? There are thousands of hungry children in Pierce County, all within hiking distance of fallow farms that could feed them. Why can't we feed all of our children? In 2017, we had 1,607 active farms in Pierce County. 99% of those farms were less than 500 acres. 90% of those farmers listed another profession as their income source. There must be 50,000 acres at least of fallow farmland across the county. Why can't those farms feed all the hungry children in the county? Those farms are fallow because they cannot compete in the dollar economy. It is cheaper to truck milk from Wisconsin, vegetables from Mexico, and eggs from Iowa. 70 years ago, a Rutgers professor of agricultural economics explained to our class that, quote, "The farmer can take their earnings as wages or as return on their capital, but not both. And I might add also to pay interest. Debt kills them. They cannot afford the interest. Family farms have been disappearing for years. Only large-scale farming survives in America. It is an ancient problem. Jesus railed against the money changers at the temple. There's a reason that Judaism, Islam, and Christianity all have injunctions against the taking of interest. Debt has crippled agriculture for thousands of years. It's not a problem for shepherds. Their capital walks before them on 4 feet. Oh, I guess we're not getting PowerPoints. How much work would it take to eliminate hunger? It takes about 128 minutes of agricultural work in the USA to feed a family of 4 for a week. That's about 1.5 minutes a meal. Imagine we could get just 10 local farmers to employ 2 workers each day to produce local food. That could be chicken, eggs, fruit, vegetables, maybe corn and wheat, healthy food. The hungry are not fussy. We stay away from dairy. If we want milk, use goats. How many meals could we produce each week? If we forget the farmer's wife and assume just a 40-hour work week, we get the following calculation. 10 farms worked 40 hours a week, about 1,200 hours of work, 72,000 minutes. It's small scale. Let's assume it takes 6 minutes a meal, not 1.5. 10 farms in Pierce County could produce 12,000 meals a week. Why can't Pierce County feed its children? Why are school children hungry? It makes no sense. We all know the problem. Where will the money come from? How will we pay for the work? Who has the dollars? We cannot afford the dollars required to produce the food to feed the hungry. We all know that. It's not news. Why dollars? We might ask North American tribes how they managed for thousands of years without dollars. In California, shell bead strings have been used for money for at least 9,000 years. They had extensive trade without banks. People have been inventing money for thousands of years. Why quit now? There is a local tribal form of money. Casinos use chips to play poker. Suppose we invent Puyallup chip money, PC. Of course, we could modernize PC money by digitizing it. No one wants to carry chips in their pocket. We could establish a Puyallup Chips credit union or a PCCU. It could be a PC computer connected to the internet in the basement of this church. Maybe we locate in a casino. Transactions are via debit cards. Essentially, we have a local Puyallup version of PayPal. Puyallup chip money never leaves the PC. Of course, you cannot gamble with PC money. Unemployed people could work on fallow farms that cannot compete with farmers who must work in another profession to make a living, to produce food to feed hungry families and school children. They pay each other with Puyallup chip money. All participants have accounts with startup balances. People could buy PC with dollars, but they cannot buy dollars with PC money. Why? The whole point of Puyallup chip money is to keep resources in the community instead of bleeding it out to the banks. Residents of Pierce County would have accounts, so would cities, school districts, fire department, churches. Supermarket chains could not be members because they operate in dollars. PC money is not limited to agriculture. We could pay each other for cleaning yards, washing cars, washing laundry, delivering diapers or childcare. Cities, libraries, fire departments, and other institutions could be members and utilize Puyallup chips to pay all kinds of work. Can we eliminate child hunger in Pierce County? Absolutely, yes. We can produce thousands of meals each day by empowering local farmers to hire the underemployed to work the land and feed the hungry children in Pierce County. We have the resources. We can put people to work using local Puyallup chip money. Community would emerge as people exchange work and resources with one another without having to ask the banks for approval. Indeed, that is how we create community from neighborhoods of strangers.
At this time, we spend some time setting an intention for our lives. And as part of that today, I'd like to read some words by the Reverend Mark Bellatini. I just read today that he had spent 37 years in ministry before he retired. No matter how weary we get, no one of us is without embers to kindle a light. Each of us can be bringers of light, and together we can make a radiance.
Can everyone hear me? Great. I'm here to talk about the power of libraries, which actually equals the power of people. If you think about it, we've talked about community here several times. And the library is a place to build community. It's a place for every single person in our area to take advantage of the resources of the community. When we think about libraries, we think often of one thing, books. Many people perceive libraries, and especially public libraries, as book warehouses or book commodification. Libraries are not about books. They are about power. They are about imagination. And they are about information. And these things can be provided in a number of ways to every single person in the larger community. Books are simply containers. We used to have DVDs, and some libraries still have those for people who cannot afford streaming services or who may get a DVD player or still have one from the 90s. Libraries provide access to movies, electronic resources such as ebooks and audiobooks, databases, programming such as workshops or information sessions, reference and information services, and all of these are provided by the most important and powerful tool in a library and in a community. It's people. We can do things online, and in fact, libraries help people to do things online every single day. And I speak largely here about public libraries, but this applies to all libraries in general. In addition to information, they provide access, and this is the most important aspect of libraries from my perspective. In my career, which I retired from 4 years ago, I was passionate about the power that libraries could provide to people. It's an empowering organization in our communities, and they're often taken for granted because of the misconception that it's just about books. But if you look at any library website or walk into any library today, you will see the power of what this space can do. And it can be a physical space and it can be an online space. Public libraries are available to everyone, regardless of race, color, creed, faith system or no faith system, gender, sexual orientation, citizenship status, and age. Public libraries welcome everyone. We are non-judgmental, and they provide a way to access information regardless of income and give truth and provide tangible manifestation of diversity, equity, and inclusion. They are supported by communities, and people would often say libraries are free. They're not free. Our larger community supports libraries with tax dollars, and it is one that I am happy to pay because they provide so much to so many people without regard for ability to pay, and we do not keep people that can pay from them as well. They are supported by communities with funding from local, regional, and until recently, even as recently as yesterday, federal sources. I know in the fire hose of the news that we receive in the last few months, that there are so many things that we need to be concerned about. And I'd just like to ask that we consider, when you hear news about libraries, what that means in terms of all of those other services, because libraries provide information about all those other services that have been gutted. Just yesterday, a court ruled that even though there was a temporary stay, that the Institute of Museum and Library Services defunding could stand. In my experience, and I've been a librarian for 30 years, once a librarian, always a librarian, they save lives. I've seen it my entire career. They save lives. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. We have people in our libraries who provide information services and people that choose to search for information themselves. There's a saying that said, Google can provide you an answer. A library staff person can provide you the right answer with factual information. I have some examples of how libraries can save lives. During COVID, I was the manager of the main library in Tacoma. We were closed, obviously. As part of our service to the community, our reference librarians and paraprofessionals were asked to provide job-seeking training to those who had been laid off during the pandemic. And it was one of the first uses of Zoom that were used. And we were able to train any company that had to have layoffs because of COVID. We were able to provide job skill training online. Many people don't know that libraries offer that service. We have online resources for job saving. We're open during emergencies when other agencies are not. We are often the only way to access information for those who do not have the ability to pay for even an internet connection. We are a safe space for those who have been discriminated against and disenfranchised. And we are as much about our spaces as we are about the books on the shelves and the computers. We are a safe space. And I know personally several young people examining their own sexuality who have come and interacted with our teen services librarians who are trained in how to be open and non-judgmental toward those who are examining their own lives and their own being. And I still hear from many of those teens who are now adults, some of whom have successfully transitioned, who receive resources about how to transition from our teen services librarian. Eli talked about community and food security. Oftentimes, we will have resource lists of where people can get emergency housing, emergency food services, both in print form or by going to the reference desk where all the transactions are treated as confidential. When I was at the Tacoma Library, we started a program for those who were housing and food insecure called Homeward Bound in conjunction with another nonprofit community. And we graduated 12 classes of people who were housing insecure who went through a 5-week course on how to improve their lives. Many people don't think about these types of services that libraries provide. In addition, we provide online workshops on any topic imaginable. For a person that's new to this area, we offer training for those and learning for those who for whom English is not their primary language. And we will have literacy classes. I was a literacy volunteer for 10 years while I was a librarian back in upstate New York. And as part of that, I trained a dairy farmer who got through the 9th grade without being able to read. It's hard to believe, but that's what happens in libraries, and it happens all over, not just me. It happens every day in every public library in this country. Libraries are primarily, and I've said this since the beginning, and I never dreamed that I would have to see it come into action, but libraries are the protectors of our democracy. And the reason for this is that information is power. And people receive information in schools, but once you're out of school, or if you have no access to the internet, which is how most people get their news, people can go to the public library and get information. They are currently under attack by those who want to control what we read and view and listen to. They want to control who has access to information as a way to control who is able to learn, as a way to control messaging, and as a way to diminish people's ability to live and learn, as a way to foster divisiveness and create a nation of haves and have-nots. Libraries are the great equalizer. Librarians are currently being criminalized for doing the job of freedom of access to information. I just want to close by saying that information and imagination and community are powerful. In a democracy, the ability to access, to make informed decisions is essential, even when we come to vote. And if you have no other access to quality information, the library is your place to go. I just hope that the power of the people represented by libraries and the tax dollars that people pay to fund libraries will resonate with each of you and be a source of power when needed. Thank you.
This is a song by Iris Dement called Working on a World. It has a very sing-alongable chorus, and I hope that you join me. And Steve, thank you for accompanying me with your percussion today. Appreciate that. I got so down in trouble, I nearly lost my head. Started waking every morning, filled with sadness, fear, and dread. The world I took for granted, crashing to the ground. And I realized I might not live long enough to ever see it turn around. Then I got to thinking about the ones who came before, all the sacrifices that they made to open up so many doors. Doors I got to walk through on streets paved for me by people who were working on a world they never got to see. Now I'm working on a world I may never see. I'm joining forces with the warriors of love who came before and will follow you and me. I get up in the morning knowing I'm privileged just to be working on a world I may never see. I don't have all the answers to the struggles of the day. Neither did all our ancestors. They persevered anyway. When I see a little baby reaching out its arms to me, I remember why I'm working on a world I may never see. Now I'm working on a world I may never see. I'm joining forces with the warriors of love who came before and will follow you and me. I get up in the morning knowing I'm privileged just to be working on a world I may never see. I'm working on a world I may never see.
Our final reading this morning comes from the pen of the poet Mary Oliver, to be found in her poem, The Summer Day. It's very short, but you have to listen. Tell me what it is that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. Amen. I'm supposed to extinguish the chalice, and then
Yeah.
you have the words.
We will do the words and then extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And if you will join us in our closing blessing song.
know if we've talked, I don't remember.
So, I'm Chrissy.
I'm Naomi, I just said that. I would be interested in